Do you all mind if I ease back into YouTube doing a good old-fashioned book haul? It is a little obnoxious, but I rediscovered my digital camera and I want to film a video of some sorts, and I figured that this was a easy win, if you will. So this is mostly book mail that I've gotten from publishers behind me in these stacks, and a few things that I bought myself as well. So take that with what you will. There's a lot of good books coming out this summer. It's kind of overwhelming, but I'm excited to be alive. It's a good time to be a reader. I'll just start pulling from behind me willy-nilly. First up, we have Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. This is out September, yeah, the 9th of September, right? Yep, September 3rd. This was sent to me by Scribner. I really like Rachel Kushner's nonfiction writing and loved The Hard Crowd, her collection of essays, and I've actually never read any of her fiction all the way through. So I picked this up a little bit a couple of weeks ago and I put it down because it's literally a spy thriller and I didn't know that, and I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood at the time. But this is blurbs by Hernan Diaz on the back, who I love, and let's see, it's about a seductive and cunning American woman who infiltrates an anarchist collective in France. A propulsive page-turner of glittering insights and dark humor. I feel like this could be similar to Birnam Wood by Eleanor Catton in a way. It kind of gives me those vibes based on nothing at all. Just, I guess it has a collective in it of some sorts. I'm excited to read it. I haven't read any noir fiction or that genre at all, and this is saying it's like a remake update of that genre at large, so we'll see how I get on with this. But I do think Rachel Kushner is an interesting thinker. I love listening to podcast episodes where she's a guest too. The Material by Camille Bordas. This was sent to me by Hogarth, was it? Oh, I guess it's Random House. They have the same galley look. That's interesting. What do we think about this galley look? I would love to know y'all's thoughts. Most galleys, in my opinion, look like the jacket that is forthcoming. And they have this little advanced reader copy button right there on the side. But Hogarth and Random House do this, which I think is interesting. So this is blurbed by Percival Everett, Rachel Cusk, Ling Ma. That's interesting. Can comedy be taught? Someone at some point seemed to think so. The Chicago stand-up program has enrolled young comedians for nearly a decade. Okay, interesting. So this is an ensemble cast novel about a single momentous day transforming the lives of students and professors at a school for stand-up comedy. I wonder if that means it's funny or not. I feel like it's not, since Rachel Cusk blurbed it, but I guess we'll see. I know Jalen really liked this, and we'll see if I get to it. Next up, a couple of books that I paid for. You Get What You Paid For by Morgan Parker. This is a essay collection. Morgan Parker wrote the poetry collection Magical Negro, and this says, this essay collection traces the challenge and beauty of existing as a Black woman in America from the start of the slave trade to today. Beauty standards that exclude Black women, the implication of Bill Cosby's fall from grace, the pitfalls of visibility as seen through the mischaracterizations of Serena Williams. I think this is gonna be fabulous, and I really like this cover. If you can see that kind of gem crystallization fossil illustration on top of this woman's head. I also bought this book, which is Splinters by Leslie Jamison. I'm on a huge Leslie Jamison kick right now. I read The Empathy Exams and I loved it. I read Make It Scream, Make It Burn, and I loved it. And this is her memoir. Blurbs by everyone you can think of. Kaveh Akbar, Ashley C. Ford, Melissa Phoebos. I think this is about her divorce, which is interesting. Yeah, rebuilding a life after the end of a marriage, an exploration of motherhood, art, and new love. It's funny, the essay collection of hers I just read was a lot about her being a stepmother and getting pregnant and meeting her husband. So it'll be interesting to see something kind of confessional, it seems like, and see what her experience is like in this new phase of her life. Is that her? Because if that's her, she's hot. I think that's her. You're hot! We love you, Leslie. Okay, going back to book mail. Pink Slime by Fernanda Trias, translated by Heather Cleary. This was sent to me by Scribner. We love you, Scribner. I think I'm really going to like this book. So This is set in a city ravaged by a mysterious plague. A woman tries to understand why her world is falling apart. Unforgettable novel explores the beauty and fragility of our most intimate relationships and the moments in life when love, responsibility, and self-preservation converge. The publicist or the marketing person from Scribner actually like reached out to me and was like, CJ, I think you will like this book, in a really personal email. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Send it to me. So I think they might watch the channel or know about me in some way, or they can form a really nice email that seems personal. Maybe it's not. But they were doing some bookseller outreach and sent me this, so I'm excited to get to that. Kind of a weird trim size copy. Weird being in books and you think about how big a book is now. Okay, so Liars by Sarah Manguso, author of Very Cold People. I've never read that book, but I know Jalen loved it. This is sent to me by Hogarth. Again, weird arc format. This is about a searing novel about being a wife, a mother, and an artist, and how marriage makes liars out of all of us. Blurbs by Maggie Smith, Emily Gold. A nuclear family can destroy a woman artist. I'd always known that, but I never suspected how easily I'd fall into one anyway. I love that. I think it's supposed to be kind of like Ferrante's Days of Abandonment, like woman on the verge, kind of blowing up her life because of the domesticity trap she has found herself in. Catalina by Carla Cornejo Villavicencio, out June 18th from One World. This was sent to me from the publisher. I asked for it though. I loved her first book, Undocumented Americans, which was a piece of creative nonfiction, and this is a novel, an auto-fictitious novel at that. A year in the life of the unforgettable Catalina, a wickedly wry and heartbreaking vulnerable student at an elite college, forced to navigate an opaque past, an uncertain future, tragedies on 2 continents, and the tantalizing possibilities of love and freedom. Campus novel, academia, moving through the echelons of privilege and power and the stratosphere that is high academia, and especially high academia at an elite college like Yale. Brat by Gabriel Smith. This is from Penguin Press, sent to me from the publisher. This is actually the Sunny's book club pick for this month, so if you want to read in community with people, sign up at our website. From a provocative new literary talent, a hilarious and haunted novel featuring an unlikable protagonist grappling with grief, inheritance, and the ghost of his past. Gabriel Smith's arrival heralds the next generation of fiction writers, formally inventive, influenced by the rhythms of the internet, and infused with a particularly Gen Z sense of alienation. I think it's going to be internet-y and kind of referential of a very time and place, and also kind of ghosty. I think this gets like into literary horror zone, which I'm excited about. Next up, we have We Were the Universe by Kimberly King Parsons, a finished copy that was sent to me by Kana. Blurbs by everyone cool on the back: Jenny Awful, Karen Russell, Chelsea Beaker, Melissa Broder. I haven't gotten to this for God knows what reason, but it's about a young mother in denial after the death of her sister navigates the dizzying landscapes of desire, guilt, and grief in this darkly comic, highly anticipated debut. Kimberly King Parsons wrote a story collection that was really well regarded, and I'm excited to read this. Sisters, motherhood, women on the verge, you know the vibes. I am really into humor in novels lately. I think an example of that would be Worry by Alexandra Tanner. I thought it was so well employed to deal with larger menacing topics like grief and depression and mental health, and I think I will like this. I was sent this finished copy by Scribner, The Language of the Night by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is a collection of essays on writing, science fiction and fantasy by Ursula K. Le Guin. I haven't read anything by her yet, which I think is so stupid, because she's a legend. I do have, what is it, The Wizard of Earthsea? I think that is the one piece that I have of her, The Wizard of Earthsea, yeah. And I have The Left Hand of Darkness actually, but I think I would love this. I love that illustration too. It's a pen, it's a rocket ship, and it's a dragon. This is a collection of essays covering Ursula K. Le Guin's background as a writer and educator, her thoughts on writing, and her commentary on literary science fiction and fantasy and their future. Was she an Oregonian? Yeah, she was. She was a Portlander, I think, and that's why she was so like embedded in Portland's book culture there. But she's also just like a legend feminist activist during the 60s and 70s, and really paved the way for a lot of more contemporary science fiction and fantasy writers. Then I was sent The Road to to the Country by Chigozie Obiama. Sent to me by Hogarth. This looks gorgeous. What a cover. What a cover. Again, what does Jalen have to say, you guys? A masterful novel of brotherhood, friendship, love, and coming of age set during Nigeria's civil war in the late 1960s. Weaving Nigerian folklore and mysticism into the story, we follow a shy, bookish student in Lagos who searches for his younger brother amid the chaos of war. That sounds so good. I haven't read anything, I think, set in Nigeria, so I would love to get to this. And it would really feel out of my comfort zone, I think, and stretch me in ways that would be good for me. I got sent Housemates by Emma Copley Eisenberg, which I'm really excited about. I've heard, like, people on TikTok are raving about this book, the Lit Fit girls there. Again, blurbs by everyone cool: Hilary Leiker, Kristen Arnett, Sarah Novick. This is about two young housemates embarking on a road trip to discover themselves in the sparkling novel of love, friendship, and chosen family in fractured America. A wise, beautiful, and gorgeously gay exploration of America, art, and the rugged, vast country that is love itself. We love a road trip narrative. What a cover as well. And something I thought was really cool is the author's partner took this photograph, and prints were included as part of the PR mailer. I've never seen that before, and it felt, I don't know, personal and not like a garbage tote bag. And I'm really happy to have received that. And there's a nice note card about its meaning and the use of photography as well. That is Housemates. Then I'm so excited for this. Spoiler alert, this is gonna be a Sunny's book club pick. The Coin. I was sent this by Catapult. I love Catapult. I love Catapult and Soft Skull and FSG and Hogarth and Scribner. I'm probably forgetting other ones, but I feel like those are my favorite publishers. Okay, so The Coin is a taut, caustic wonder. Yasmin Zahir captures the outrageous loneliness of contemporary life, the gradual and total displacement of the human heart. This is about a Palestinian woman who is basically a scammer. She creates a scamming business selling fake Birkin bags. And I think within that explores nature and civilization, beauty and class and belonging, all while resisting easy moralizing. I think this is like a really unlikable narrator from what I've heard, and people are loving it. A filthy, elegant book. I love this bonkers novel, says Elif Batuman on the back. You can't ask for anything better than that. Speaking of Make It Scream, Make It Burn by Leslie Jamison, this is a collection of essays. There's one about the Sri Lankan Civil War. There's one about Las Vegas. There's one about being a stepmother. It's mixing memoir and criticism and personal essay in a way that Leslie Jamison does very well. I really, really liked this. It says, often compared to Joan Didion and Susan Sontag. I can see that for her, actually. I think she is a great thinker, and we should be reading more of her. Next, The Bear by Julia Phillips, sent to me by Hogarth. This is out in June 25th. This is a little bit different from what I normally read, but I do like magical realism. I say that, but I do love a lot of magical realism. Okay, a mesmerizing novel of two sisters on a Pacific Northwest island whose lives are upended by an unexpected visitor. A tale of family, obsession, and mysterious creatures in the woods. Sisterhood, myth, danger, you know, being dependent on familial structures. I think I'm gonna love this. Role Play by Clara Drummond. This was sent to me from FSG Originals. They do that kind of proof thing too, where it's weird on the back. Damn, Sarah Thinkin Matthews is blurbing everything. She's blurbed so many of these books so far. Hilarious, knife sharp, and thrillingly live. Role Play is a romp to remember. That sounds great. Also blurbed by Catherine Lacey. It says, too real to be satire, too funny to be realism. We love that. Fresh satire narrated by a wealthy young woman in Rio on the verge of a class consciousness awakening. Tiny little guy. I think it's gonna be great. Wild Ground by Emily Usher. I don't think I like this cover. That's neither here or there. It was sent to me from Random House, out June 4th, so it's out. A story of first love that will break your heart, this bittersweet debut novel follows two teenagers whose all-encompassing relationship is tested by the forces of class, prejudice, and addiction. that makes sense with the light leaky kind of sappy saccharine photograph on the front as the cover, so I guess I'll give it a pass. If you're into tumultuous first loves and looking at substance abuse, poverty, and racism and want a coming of age novel, sounds like a good one. I was sent Feel It All by Casey Tanner, who is a queer sex therapist. I was actually sent this in a really cool PR package that Nina Haynes from Satire helped her with, and it included like a sex toy and like massage oil and a bunch of other cool stuff, and was really generous and awesome. But this is a groundbreaking guide to sexuality that dispels the stale cultural attitudes about sex that leave too many feeling inadequate, offers an expansive attachment-based framework to free us to develop bolder, more satisfying relationships with our sexual selves. Who doesn't need that? That sounds great. I have been watching a lot of couples therapy on Amazon Prime lately with the couples therapist Orna. I don't know if you guys have been watching that show, but I feel like I'm gonna love this. I'm in season 3 of that show now. We've been kind of binge watching it, which is, I don't know if I'd recommend. It's interesting to watch in a marriage. But it's just really like affirming and crazy, and what is the word I want? It's kind of just like revelatory that everyone has the same problems. Like every relationship issue is boiled down to communication and needs differing at every time across all of these like case studies of different couples are allowed to see throughout that show. So it's been really fun to watch that, and also kind of weird and universal, I guess. Lastly, I was sent Old Enough by Haley Jacobson, the new paperback release. Hannah is actually reading this right now and she was like, it ruled. Like, I'm really liking it, so that's cool. And again, speaking of Nina from Saflet, she partnered with Haley Jacobson and the publisher, who was at Dutton, to make these little PR packages. It sent them to a bunch of gay people, including me. And it says, buy as in horny for, what does it say? Buy as in horny for gender expansiveness. That's great. I'm probably gonna wear this tomorrow horseback riding, as God intended. So what is this about? It explores queer love, community, and what it means to be a sexual assault survivor. A love letter to friendship and the queer coming of age novel that most of us never had. I love that. I know Haley Jacobson is also on TikTok. I think I follow her there. It's funny, her author sandwich says, her author bio says she's also a killer follow on Instagram. That's weird. It's weird how we have to promote ourselves, isn't it? Well, these are my things. These are my books. I am spoiled beyond belief, really. Thank you to all the publishers who sent me these things, and also thank you to myself who bought these things, and also let me know what you're most interested in. I think my most anticipated my most anticipated out of that list is probably The Coin, and then Brat, and then Catalina, and then Liars, and then Pink Slime, and then all of them. So it's gonna be a good book summer, baby. Watch out. Love ya. Bye. Have a good one.